So now we're ready for our fourth and final challenge exercise. And this exercise is going to be about embracing boldness by painting large. And I can tell you from personal experience that painting large is the most fantastic way to sort of access your inner boldness. When you're working on a larger surface, you can't help but become involved in a dance with your paper or your canvas. It's really very exhilarating, is all I can say. So I would encourage you in your doing of this exercise to paint on as large a surface as you can manage. So in this exercise, we're going to have some restraints. We're going to only be using black and white paint and unconventional painting tools. So first of all, I'm going to be working on a piece of 90-pound Stonehenge paper that is 38 by 50, which is a good size for me to be working on for you. Then I've got black and white paint out, and for my unconventional painting tool, I was trying to decide what I should use, and I decided upon this item, which is in my car now because we're in winter. It's a brush and scraper used to take snow and ice off of car windows. So it's kind of a 2-for-1. I've got the brush on this side, and I've got the scraper on that side, and I just bought this, so I'm going to be sacrificing this in the name of art. I've also got something I haven't used much of, although people who've come here for live workshops have. This is a little hand brush with a little dustpan. And the dustpan is terrific for using as a scraper on its edge. I haven't used this brush very much. I've only seen other people using it, so we'll see what I think about it after I've used it. And I have a couple of other scraping type tools. I've got this rigid, it's about a 4-inch scraper, and these 2 rigid plastic paint scrapers. So let's get started. So one thing you also need to know is that this is a 30-minute or less exercise, okay? So I'm gonna start with my little hand brush that I'm sort of unfamiliar with and dip it in some water and some black paint, a little more water, and then some marks. And I kind of like that. And I'm also going to add that I don't ordinarily do horizontal paintings. It's kind of not my thing. So I thought I would further challenge myself by working in an orientation that's not my comfort zone. So I want to make another mark here. And I kind of like this brush. This is a cool brush. It's mainly nylon, and it's kind of got a strange texture, but it seems to work. So I'm going to put it in water and take one of these rigid scrapers and kind of pull down on this and see what happens. I'm not really thinking of anything in particular yet, of a composition or whatever. I'm just trying to be bold. And I'm trying to get my whole physical self involved in this painting. And I'm just wiping off what I have on here. Let's see, I have a rag here. I'll clean it off all the way. And I want to put some, I think I'll pick up this little snow tool with some white paint and see how this works as a scraper. Oh, it's sort of strange because it has like lines in it. So I don't know how that's going to actually work out. Probably not very well, but we'll see. It's not what I expected, but that's good. I have to deal with the unexpected. But we're going to try this other scraper instead with some white paint. And I've got 2 kinds of white paint on my paper plate. I've got some more liquidy paint, and then I've got some more heavy body paint. And I'm just seeing where the chips are falling at this point. I'm also going to try, this is a brand new 1.5-inch paint shaper. The ones I have already are wider. So this is the first time that I'm using something as narrow as this, and I like it. Sort of like frosting a cake, but it feels good. And I'll take some of my liquidy paint. This is kind of a good thing for making wide lines. At this point, I'm kind of still just playing. I don't know how this is going to resolve itself, but it's too early in the process to tell. Maybe I'll take this with some black paint, kind of make some bolder lines. Oh yeah, I like that. It turns well. It's a great little tool. I got it in a 4-pack on Amazon. Let's see what we have. Now, I think I'm going to put some more white on here. I'm going to go into my heavier body white. And kind of drag some of this black around. Again, I'm not really worried about what's happening yet. I am going to clean this off. I think I'm going to try this kind of dustpan in the black paint and see how it works as a straight edge. Kind of make some lines that way. Oh, that's kind of cool. I'm going to take a little palette knife to be able to put the paint on this this dustpan, because the paint is sitting in a paper plate that's not wide enough to accommodate this. So I'm just putting the paint on it, and we're going to see what's going to happen. Let's see. Oh yeah. So it's sort of making a pattern. And it's probably making a pattern because it was not cleaned well when the last person who used it. And so there's kind of clumps of paint that are creating some unpredictability in how these marks come off. But that's good. We don't like the predictable. So I'm just going to clean this off a little bit. And I think I'm going to try making some lines with this scraping tool. And I'm trying to get a lot of movement and energy in this, because that's usually what I do. Now I'm going to wipe this off and put some white paint on it. With a paper towel. I'm dipping it in my white paint. And I want to kind of simplify this a little bit. I'll use my smaller scraper that's from the same set, this little one. I'm sort of feeling the lack of a brush, but you know, it's always good to have restraints. And now I think I'm going to try the brush that came on the snow tool just for fun, because I haven't used it yet. I'm dipping it into my black paint, and you're going to see what kind of, oh, okay, so it makes like a lot of the little parallel lines, okay? I'm not thinking that it's exactly what I want in this piece. I'm probably going to scrape over these, but lesson learned. Now I know. I'm wiping the black paint off of this rigid scraper. And I think I'm going to go to my paint shapers. That might help this piece a lot. I'm just going to take a look at it, see what's going on. It's kind of a mess, but that's okay. We don't mind a mess. Messes resolve if patience is exercised and experimentation is utilized. You just have to try it all. I do love these paint shapers and the way they move the paint around. I feel like it's enabling me to simplify a little bit. Clean it off. I'm also having a better time with the heavy body white paint. The liquidy white paint is just a little too sheer for my taste. I'm trying to vary up my strokes, horizontal, vertical, angular, and see what we get here. I'm gonna wipe this off. So I'm kind of editing right now. I'm probably going to go in with some heavy black in a little bit to kind of accentuate that. Let's see. I feel like I've edited out a lot and it needs some maybe more black in this area, but I'm not quite ready to do that. And I'm thinking bold. How can I make this piece be totally bold? Well, black and white, of course, helps as a start. Let's see. I think I'm going to put some more black in with this paint shaper. And I think I'm going to grab one of my bigger ones for a little additional black. This is about, I think, a 2.5-inch one. And I like that better. And I can use the edge of my paint scraper to kind of draw some lines into this. But I do like the size of this paper. It's very comfortable. There's a lot of real estate here that you can do something with. And I'm not really invested in the outcome. I'm going to stand back a little bit to see what I have here. And I'm liking this. I'm thinking that what's bothering me is I don't like this diagonal black. So we're going to get rid of that and maybe put some black back into it. So I'm going to get rid of it with the smaller paint shaper, because it seems to be the tool I have out that is most suitable for that job. And I left a little bit of it, but I got rid of a lot of it. I'm thickening up some of the whites, make them stand out a little bit more. And I can see I'm about halfway into my time, but I might be finished well before the 30 minutes. It's sort of hard to see this when you're working on it. I think I want to get rid of that white right there. It's kind of destroying my composition. It's getting close to being done, I think. It's kind of a highly energized piece with black sort of carrying the day. Again, that was maybe a mistake. Let's get rid of that. And I think I want to use this dustpan to maybe make some white lines in this. So we'll wipe off this little palette knife. And we'll put on some white paint here, the heavier bodied. So I've got that ready to go. Well, let me take a good look at this and see where I want to do that. I'm sort of feeling it like right here. So let's see what happens. Ooh. Again, it's an unpredictable mark because this dustpan is a little on the dirty side. But I like that. I think that adds a good touch. And it makes me want to do it again in another spot. So we're going to add some more white paint to this. I'm thinking like right here would be good. So this adds a little bit of thickness to this paint. Otherwise, this is a lot of thinly applied paint. So I've got some variety going in the width of my marks. The orientation of the marks. I've got some, now I have a little bit better variation in terms of texture. So the only thing I'm thinking is maybe this black area should be a little heavier. So I'm going to take, let's see what we have here. I have this wider paint shaper, and we're going to use that to kind of just darken up this black a little bit. Let's see if that works. Well, okay, so that made me want to, let's see, maybe make a little bit more white in here. So, let's see. I'm gonna wipe all the black off of this. And take some of the thicker white. And we're going to, let's see. So this isn't quite dry. We're going to wipe that off a little bit so I can whiten it up just a touch. And just a little bit more black right here. So it's got sort of like a rhythmic thing happening. Everything's kind of moving from left to right. And I think I'm just about done. Just evaluating one more time. I like the variations. I like this heavier black area here. And that's it, I'm done. So I think it came out, pretty bold. I mean, black and white is a dynamic combination, but this painting with the variation in marks and the use of some different tools, it created kind of a vibrant, energetic piece with lots of movement from, like I say, from left to right. It feels to me like it's alive. And part of that is because of the size that I used. If this any smaller, you wouldn't get that same feeling. So you can see how increasing your size of your work is going to lead to boldness if you just embrace that whole idea.